Congratulations, Manager of the Month.
Thank you.
You waited quite a while to win it again, though.
Yeah, it's not one of the things that I put the most focus on either. But it's of course a reflection of a really good month that we had, and where credit should go to the wider staff group and the players who've all done an incredible job. So it's nice to get recognition for that. But in the end, it's the collective trophies that we care a lot about.
Yeah, it's something that's obviously a bit like water off a duck's back for you. But the players, do they congratulate you? Are they happier about it?
I don't know. Actually, it's. I think when you're in our environment, it's to see like, of course, we all need to individual contribute to the team's goal, but the reason that we are here is to win things with Arsenal, and that has to be our main focus for it, and that's what we should care about all the time. Is to say like, what does the team benefit from, and that's what we need to do.
Emma Hayes will have revenge on her mind then, because you beat her to the trophy.
I don't think she cares a dime about that. I think she's the same as me and only care about the team and the team's results.
Looks like it might still be a sellout. I think it's 2,000 tickets left, but obviously there's still some time to go, and it'll be the third highest, I think, attendance for a football game in England this weekend. So again, it just shows the progress, doesn't it, of the game.
And I think we have to push and make it a sellout. I mean, the atmosphere that has been created by supporter groups like we have the Red and White, Arsenal Women's Supporter Clubs, that's what drives us to going to this stage here. And we're 2,000-ish tickets short of this being a sellout. Let's push. You don't want to miss this game.
Would you have thought that, though, a few years back? Would you have thought that we'd be talking about sellout stadiums on a massive weekend of football for women's football?
I mean, this is where it comes into where you're saying you might have visions, dreams, goals for it, but the reality is when I came 2.5 seasons ago and we were playing Chelsea at the Emirates, we were less than 10,000 people at Emirates, and now we're talking about a sellout. That's a tremendous growth, and it's down to so many people doing great work. And that's, of course, the players. Those are the one that drives the excitement of the league and the matches, but also off the pitch, the club's commercial, communication departments, the supporters, everything comes together, and you need everyone in order to get this growth. It can't only be driven by a few, it has to be driven by many.
That first game you spoke about there, I think you won that game, didn't you, against Chelsea?
Correct.
Yeah. And then drew last season in the WSL?
Yes.
So the record's good and obviously cup success as well. What kind of statement would be a win and going equal on points with Chelsea be this weekend?
Always what you need to focus in a football match is the performance. The performance will then sort of equal into the result, but our full focus needs to be in the performance. It can never be in saying like, oh, what would it mean to win? What would it not mean to win? Focus on playing good football. Focus on playing well as a team, especially coming back from an international break with players being away. Now we need to connect. We need to find our principles as well. So our focus needs to be on play well, and if we play well, then we have a good chance of winning.
And just a final thought. Obviously, the men's team are top of the table as well. You could potentially be equal top at the end of the weekend. Is it too simple? Is it simplifying things to say that it rubs off on each other if you're both doing well, or is it completely separate?
No, I definitely think that's dynamics that is very positive in a football club. Why it is important. It's probably also very true that our wider supporter groups for both teams, that's rubbing off to both teams, but also our management at the club, that also drips down to both teams. So I think there is so many positive things in and around the club that benefits both teams, and that's probably the main reason why both teams are able to be competing in the top spots in both respective leagues.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gary. Chris?
Yonus, obviously with just 12 teams in the WSL, there's so little margin for error, and if Chelsea were to win this, they'd be 6 points clear. So I know we're only in mid-December, but if this isn't a must-win game, is it a must-not-lose game?
Like I said, our focus is on the performance, and that's what you can control. And I think that's always the case when you try to prepare the team, and what we need to put our focus on is the things that we can control. And the future, we don't have 100% control over that. We don't know what's going to happen in the rest of the games coming after this game. But we can control our performance in this game here, and that's where we need to put 100% on our focus. And like I said, if we focus on playing as well as possible, that's going to give us the best chance of winning.
Arsenal as a club is doing something right when it comes to getting these huge crowds in at the Emirates, doing much better than some of the other big clubs. What do you think some of those clubs could learn perhaps from what Arsenal is doing?
I think that's so hard because I don't know the other clubs in and out like I know Arsenal. But like I said, I think there is many factors that comes together with making us very successful with selling so many tickets, and it's both the players on the pitch, it's the staff off the pitch, but it's also the supporters, and you need to have all those three components in order to make it successful. And right now we have a really nice mix of that.
Even when some of the games at the Premier League grounds don't necessarily get a huge crowd, obviously you've got a better pitch usually, you've got better facilities. How close are we, do you think, to a stage where every WSL game match really should take place in a Premier League stadium for all of the clubs?
I think you would hope that would be closer than I think it actually might be, because I think there is a lot of logistics in moving all games in the league to bigger stadiums, because you have many different factors in everything from permits on how many games you're allowed to play on a stadium, but also on how do you make pitch maintenance and so on in congested periods of games. So I think there is a lot of logistics that you don't necessarily think about, and especially if we see in a future that probably likely that to have more than 12 teams in the WSL. I think not for next season, but if we look a decade forward, I think that certainly has to be the direction, and that means more games. It means then even more demands on the stadium that the games are going to be played on. So I think that requires some really smart people getting together and have a think about how that can be possible.
Just lastly from me, Frida Lee and Alison Morgan getting the Football Supporters Association Player of the Year award. What does it mean to you to see her get that accolade?
Oh, it's great. I mean, see Frida coming from the league in Sweden, developing into the player and the person that she is today. I think that has been really strong and impressive for her, and I'm really happy to continue to see her progression with us.
Thanks, Chris. Simon.
Yonus, I know you and the club and the players have spoken about playing every WSL game at the Emirates, but do you have a sort of a date or a year in mind when you think that might be a reality?
No, but you can see the progression that the club has been doing with playing more and more league games at the Emirates every year, and hopefully that's a progression that continues. But like I said, there is so many different factors going into saying on how many games that we can play on a stadium. So I think we have to review it season by season basis, but you can clearly see the club's intent in the progress that we've been making.
And obviously the rivalry between Chelsea and Arsenal is great, but how much different do you think the dynamic will be this year, knowing that it's Emma's last year at Chelsea before she goes to the US?